Well, hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Angie Knowles, a mixed media textile artist. I create artworks using fabrics that I've dyed with indigo, with fabric dye, fabric paint, and rust. If this is your first time here, thank you for coming by. And if you've been here before, thanks for coming back again. In today's video, I'll be doing a short tutorial showing one of the ways that I rust dye some of my fabrics and materials. This method is very simple and easy. It doesn't require a lot in the way of materials. And if that's something you think you're interested in, let's just jump right into the video. To get started with this process, you only need a few materials. First, you will need a piece of rusty metal. Something flat works best, and I'm using a rusty saw blade. And then you will need the items that you want to rust. In my case, I'm using recycled coffee filters that have been soaked in water, the excess water squeezed out, and they're damp. And you will also need a spray bottle with half water and half vinegar. And you will notice I have a piece of plastic down to protect my work surface. I start out by laying the coffee filters on the plastic, and these filters are so fine and so lightweight that I can layer 3 or 4 filters before I lay a piece of metal on them. And then I will take and layer a rusty saw blade on top, and I will spritz both sides of the saw blade before I lay it on the coffee filter, and this helps keep the bundle moist. And I just keep layering additional filters on top of each of the saw blades. Remember, I'm layering 3 or 4 at a time because they're so lightweight and so fine. Of course, I spritz each saw blade before I lay it down on top of the filter to help keep my bundle moist. Now, I'm using coffee filters for this project, but you can use almost any type of material. Any other paper products, fabrics. I say if you think you want to rust it, give it a try. After I've finished building my bundle, adding as many coffee filters and saw blades as I wish, I then wrap the entire bundle in plastic and let it sit for at least 24 hours or longer, depending on how much rusting I want. By wrapping it in plastic, it allows the bundle to stay moist while the rusting action is happening. I then take and weigh down the bundle. In this case, I'm using an old brick that I just had laying around, but you can use anything to add weight to the bundle. What this does is it helps to make sure that the coffee filters is in complete contact with the rusty metal, and this ensures that you get a really good print. As I said a few seconds ago, I allow this to sit for at least 24 hours, sometimes longer. It really depends on how rusty I want the item to be. And a lot also depends on the weather. When it's hot outside and I can put this in the sun, it will rust a lot faster, but if it's colder outside, it takes a little longer. Once it's rusted to my satisfaction, I will then take the bundle apart. Now remember, these coffee filters are very fragile, and I layered about 3 or 4 of them together. Instead of trying to separate them into the individual filters, I just pull each bundle apart because they can very easily tear at this stage. I will then rinse the coffee filters, rinsing them several times, and on the final rinse, I will add a touch of baking soda. This helps to counteract the acidity of the vinegar and return the pH of the material to a more normal level. I will then leave the coffee filters to dry, but instead of trying to separate them into individual filters, I just let them dry in a bundle. They are very fragile, and once they're almost dry, it's so much easier to pull them apart without the fear of tearing them. And once they're dry, you can iron them or do whatever else you want to do with them, and they are ready to use in an art project. And that's just one of the simple techniques that I use when I rust dye my materials. Well guys, that's it for today's video. If you've enjoyed this and found this information helpful, leave me a comment down below and let me know. Also, if you've enjoyed this, why don't you give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell so that you don't miss any new videos I upload. I hope to see you back here again sometime soon, but until then, I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye-bye now.